Don't just say, well, I'm not going to do well, or this won't do that good, so why even put it out there? Like, you just never know, for one. But for two, just put in the work. Just press upload, and I promise you things will happen. Yep. Nothing like a nice, iced coffee during the day to just pick you back up, Hot coffee for me is in the morning, and if I need an extra dose of caffeine, it's either energy drink or an iced coffee. And pro tip, as you saw in the little montage I made, as a creamer, I used a protein shake, a vanilla protein shake. So adds a little extra protein because I'm always looking for that as much as I can get it. But today's video, I want to go over the 3 things that 2024 has taught me as a full-time creative. I've seen a lot of growth. If you've followed me on my Instagram, I gained over 100,000 followers within this year. And it's been crazy. Like, things and opportunities that I wouldn't have guessed I'd be able to do have happened this year. And it's been incredible. But with that have come some lessons that I've learned, and I figured why not just share those with you today, because if I've gone through them, you maybe are going to go through them or are going through them currently. And if I can just be a small voice of reason for you, I figured why not? So the first thing I learned is not to chase perfection, but instead chase persistence. And this has been a huge game changer for me. I no longer really consider whether something is good or not, because at the end of the day, something that's good is subjective. As long as I think it's good, then I'm going to be proud of it and put it out no matter what. Especially now creating videos for YouTube and vlogs and things like that, I get in my head all the time because I wish things looked way better than they did. And I wish I had more time to create things and focus on this. But if I just focus on that all day, I'm going to paralyze myself to the point where I won't even post anything. Last week's video where I went to Orlando, like, I really wish I had got a lot more footage. But at the end of the day, like, as I was editing it, I'm like, man, I don't know if I should put this out, but that would just be going against what I've learned this whole year, which is just be persistent. Don't count yourself out of the game before you even show up to the game. Don't just say, well, I'm not going to do well, or this won't do that good, so why even put it out there? Like, you just never know, for one. But for two, just put in the work. Just press upload, and I promise you things will happen. If one thing that you'll take away from this video is that it will just happen, because that is the reality for me. That's the story of this year for me. I just took a chance on myself and I just uploaded stuff, and I had ideas and I executed on those ideas, and it worked. And now I'm living on the other side of it with more opportunity, with more money, and more things I can go towards and chase after because I was just persistent. I wasn't chasing perfectionism. Don't get me wrong. There are moments where I was a perfectionist, but I had to talk myself out of those things in order to chase my dreams. And I'm still talking myself out of those things every single day. So number 2, kind of going and piggybacking off of the first one, failure removes fear. Another way to say it is reps remove doubt, right? Like, the more you do something, the more that fear of failing will go away. You just keep doing it. And one thing that I do, instead of like sitting in this doubt state of mind, I just continue to move forward, right? Because if I just stay stagnant where I'm at, that's where all these thoughts start to go in my mind, and I start to like overanalyze things, and I start to fear things. But the more that I'm taking action, the more that I have less time to like sit in that moment, right? It almost reminds me of like when you're working out, right? Or when you're running. If you stop, then you'll start to really feel the pain of like, oh man, this sucks. But if I keep running, like, and I don't stop, then that pain is almost lessened in a way, because you're moving, there's motion behind what you're doing. So this year has taught me that the more that I do and the less that I just sit in things, is the more that this year has definitely taught me that the more that I do, that fear of rejection or imposter syndrome, all those little things that kind of get in my head every day, those start to get quieter. And through that action, I actually motivate myself to want to do better and get better as a creative. So that's number 2. Number 3 is nobody cares about you more than you do. Like, that's just the reality. We live in a world where people only care about themselves. We all have narcissistic tendencies. Like, we only care about what's in it for us. And that, you can see that and be like, oh my gosh, that's harsh. But for me, it's almost freeing, because I'm like, okay, nobody cares about me as much as I do. So when I'm in moments and I'm scared to film in public, or I'm in moments and I'm like, man, I'm scared to put this out there because what is this person going to think or that person going to think? At the end of the day, nobody cares about you. They only care about themselves. So just keep creating content, keep providing value. Like, that's it. That's the name of the game. Provide as much value as you can. And for me, the things that I create are the things I wish I had when I was younger. So if I look from that lens, then I'm just helping myself. I'm helping myself get better. And through that, people will follow along the journey. But I'm not going to allow myself to think that, oh my gosh, what if this person says this, or what if that? Who cares? At the end of the day, who cares? I just have to keep pushing forward and do the best that I can, because if not, then all that will happen is I'll just get stuck in my own head, and that's the last place I want to be.